Alright, guys. It is time for the second semi-finals. Who will be facing off with the big boy in the grand finals? We've got SERRAL in the top left side of the map. CLEM in the bottom right. We're starting on Tyto Citadel. It's SERRAL's map pick. CLEM is actually a lower seed than SERRAL, even though he comes in as a favorite in their particular head-to-head matchup because SERRAL has an ungodly rating. You know, greatest of all time and all that, reigning world champion. You know how it goes. But because of that, CLEM gets to pick. We try to favor the underdogs in PiGFest, so we always let them pick the veto order. And he actually gave SERRAL the chance to veto first. So SERRAL got rid of 10,000 feet. CLEM got rid of Celestial Enclave, a map which is really good for Maru and most Terrans, but CLEM doesn't like it. I guess maybe it's harder to play his crazy multi-prong style of TvZ. And SERRAL then has picked Tyto as his first game. And I think this is a pretty good map for Zerg because there's a lot of room between you and the Terran, which is what you want. Problem, CLEM is so good at attacking and roaming and dropping everywhere. If he gets an edge, sometimes your bases being kind of spread apart from each other, even though you're far from the enemy, becomes as much of a weakness as it is a strength because he's just dropping you everywhere and picking you apart, and it's really hard to cover all your bases. So we'll see how it goes. SERRAL does open with a hatch gas pool. He's moved away from the 15-15 openings. CLEM punished too many of those. Reynor tried them against CLEM earlier in the tournament, and they just weren't going well, and Reynor had a bit more success when he swapped back to the more dynamic kind of hatch gas pool, get the quick third, get the ling speed up on time style. And that should, of course, allow you to deal with the early Reapers as well. SERRAL has not pulled off gas at all. I think when Terrans aren't doing this sort of build, it's really nice to pull off gas early and delay your ling speed a bit, but it's a good thing for SERRAL that he's done that. He's also hidden a drone down here. You can always hop in the extractor if the Reaper heads in that direction. Just 4 Zerglings, 2 Queens. We'll see how we go. Why is there no Protoss in the finals, says chat. We were just talking about that. If you guys are a Protoss fan, I was saying you should be cheering for SERRAL because he knocked Hero out in decisive fashion. Really amazing defense for SERRAL. But actually, and spoilers, if you haven't watched the other semi, go watch it right now because we're casting these in order. We're going to be spoiling things. Always watch the playlist in order if you're watching it down the track. Maru waits in the finals, which means if CLEM wins this, it will be a PVT finals. CLEM is top 3 Protoss players in the world right now. PVT players especially. Some people basically are adamant that CLEM is the best PVT player in the world. And I honestly don't think it's a very unhinged thing to think. There's a lot of evidence backing up that he is very, very good in that matchup. But for now, we've got these two in front of us. SERRAL and CLEM have traded series over the last few years. More often than not, CLEM has come out on top in the last 11, 12 run-ins. SERRAL managed to beat him 4-3 in the finals of Maestros of the Cup, but because SERRAL was coming from the losers bracket, he ended up having to win another best of 3, and then CLEM just switched it on and got him with a quick 2-0 in the extra series that SERRAL managed to activate. Back in PiGFest 5, SERRAL beat CLEM in the finals, 5 wins to 4. PiGFest 6, semi-finals, CLEM beat SERRAL 4-3. So they do have good back and forth series. All their big series tend to go to Game 7 or Game 9 over the last few years. This micro is disgusting. Can you stop? This is like, I always talk about the time. Whoa, no way! 6 lings go down. Oh, okay. Oh, but he goes back just after he did psychological damage, but a few more lings arrive. I always talk about the time Reynor was playing Beyond, and he built, how many Zerglings was it, guys? I think it was 18 Zerglings, and he just A-moved them at the 3 Reapers and didn't look at it, and Reynor just focused on his creep and his macro. He's like, yeah, this is so many Zerglings. Like, nothing can go wrong here. And Beyond killed 18 Zerglings without losing a Reaper. Just microed for like a minute straight, perfectly like jumping up and down cliffs and stutter stepping and grenading them. And Reynor like looked back at his Zerglings and was like, where are they? And saw like 3 damaged Reapers standing there. And I've never seen Reynor look more tilted in my entire life. It's kind of what looked like it was going to happen to SERRAL before he finally got on top of that. The Zergling does take some, oh my gosh, his Hellion micro, dude! Stop! I think we might have to issue another yellow card to CLEM, guys. This is a legal micro. He's going to get 1 more drone. No, he's not. Overall, this is not crazy damage. SERRAL's on 49 workers. He's handled things well. It's the sort of thing that it raises your blood pressure. It raises your blood pressure when you've got to play against this level of control. And, you know, we're giving props to Reynor with all of his tech issues yesterday about having to play against CLEM with suboptimal setups because it's so hard. And I was talking about how I played a lot of games against CLEM in 2024 in the weekly cups. And it really gave me a newfound respect for these guys that actually compete in serious top-level tournaments against him, because the man's Reaper, every time I've ever played CLEM, doesn't leave my main. It's literally circling my main base until 5 minutes in the game. I've had Ling Speed done for 2 minutes. I still can't kill it. And he's flawlessly macroing and he's killed 6 drones. And I'm like, it's actually illegal how good he is at multitasking. Any other player, if it's Beyond or someone, at least he's missed macroing a little bit because he can't do everything at once. But Clem's screens per minute, how quickly he bounces between different tasks, unmatched. Oh, Lib's going to try and fight the queens. Sure, yeah, bad move. Clem gets a bit excited there. I'm looking at his face. He should realize that was a bit of a mistake, bit cocky there. Should have backed off from that. Lovely spores on the edge to stop the Libs coming in. Skips the one in the natural, which is more protected. 1-1's on the way for Zerg. At a very competitive timing, actually. With only a few seconds behind the 1-1 of Terran. SERRAL on 65 workers, and he's already got an Infestation Pit. He's going to play Infestor Zergling, one of the better styles against Clem. Infestors, of course, take away a player's ability to stutter step their Marines perfectly. That is why they found so much success against them. SERRAL with the Watchtower does see the Marines coming. It's going to be trickling out a few more drones. This is the point in the game where Reyna goes 85 drones and has a massive eco advantage, but no army. This is the point where SERRAL, a more conservative player, tries to make sure he has enough army to stomp the next push. Does he pull it off? That's an early siege tank. Love to see him put it up the top. He's going to put it on the south side. Marines come forward. Zergling's a bit far away. Oh, one queen almost goes down, but not quite. SERRAL wants to bait a second stim before engaging us and wait for the Lings to flank. That's the way to do it. Goes around the right side. And look at that angling for SERRAL. Look at that angling. Wow. Oh, he doesn't put any Zerglings on the tank straight away, which I did find a little odd. Guess he was just adamant about catching the drop. Now, his Lings could aim move back to the main, but the Hellions distract them for a few seconds. Fungal could be big, though. Clem hasn't seen the Fungal. Oh, he picks up. It's not worth Fungling again. Oh, dude, he dodged it. If he Fungaled, he would have got the full medevac. And he did Fungal, but Clem anticipated and he boosted only the red hit point one back to the left. Dodged the Fungal. Look at the exhalation. Did you see that? SERRAL just went... You could hear it. You could hear him breathing out through his camera. You could see his cheeks puff up, and he was just like, oh, so unreasonable. Like nobody else does that, man. Trying to bait his first red card of the match. That was 2 Fungals down. He's only got 1 available. These Infestors are meant to be able to hold off this push. This Ling count is going to be good. SERRAL needs to angle up here and then run in, but look, Clem's spotting for it. He's going to see it a few seconds early because of this. Clem with that Marine, he gets warning. Oh, that's so big because now he's got plenty of time to react. Reacted kind of slowly there. Oh, and he's got 2 Hellbats in the third as well. The Lings not able to get the surface area they need. Those Hellbats are going to ruin. With the SCVs on repair, it funnels the Lings into the choke point. That is brutal. Fungal could be good here, but he doesn't have the Zerglings. The hatchery goes down. That's no cancel. It does get killed. Lings come from the right side as well. Ultra Cavern's almost finished. 2-2s on the way for Zerg, Adrenal, and Burrow. Clem's 4th command center floating out. I mean, he does have to play a bit more respectful because there's now like, what, four Fungals available. A 4th Infestor coming out will make it 5 Fungals. I love that the Infestor presence is there. But this middle hatchery does suck, in my opinion. I've been talking a lot about, I think, the hatchery on the north and the gold. You take both of those and you give up whichever one the Terran pushes. But SERRAL's trying to go for that middle base. He wants to lock horns with Clem and push him back, but you can see that Watchtower just gives too much of an advanced position, and SERRAL does get punished for that. Most of the Lings escape on this side, which is very well done. Ultras are on the way, which is a big turning point. I think he's up to 8 barracks with Tech Labs now. You can see 4 Tech Labs just finished. 8 barracks, so the Marauder production starts up, and he's already made Concussive. Needs those Marauders to deal with these Ultras. Marines on their own struggle really hard against 2-2 Chitinous Ultras. Oh, this is another hatchery cancel, isn't it? Can't get in range of the big Fungals. Can't get in range of the big Fungals. Siege tanks looking for those ranging shots. Lings try to come in from behind. Look at the Widow Mines, though. Look at the Widow Mines. Fungal on the north. Clem just focused down on it. 2 Infestors. Clem with another illegal maneuver. And the Widow Mines smeared the Zerglings because, of course, SERRAL was so occupied on that up top. Oh, my gosh. 3 Infestors have gone down in this game. That's so frustrating. I saw a good Fungal, but I also saw the Marines run towards and focus the Infestors down as they died, which is just the most Clem thing in the world. If you get close enough to Fungal him, he's pretty much close enough to take a step forwards and focus you down, and that might just be the blow there because the Ultras had to trade pre-Chitinous Plating. Hatchery gets cancelled again. Yes, the gold base is mining. SERRAL does have a 5th up, and he's transferred enough workers here. It's fully mining. And I mean, I do think you always want to expand to both sides. Like I said, I think this middle hatch is always a trap. Widowmine's firing. Oh, Fungal could have killed that full medevac, but doesn't have the energy, unfortunately. Baneling speed's coming on, as well as anabolic synthesis. No corruptors just yet. No Spire started. SERRAL just doesn't quite have the income at only 78 workers. Good Fungal, but of course he escapes, doesn't he? The Queens are all on the high ground. They need to get down to the low ground to try and push that back on the next round. Got to defend this 5th base, 4-base Terran. Zerg needs to have 5. Fungal does not land. Single Marine, not enough damage there. And he's going to throw another Fungal. The Ultraling getting some pretty decent damage, but can he push past the libs to overwhelm is the real question. The Spire needs to go down yesterday, but SERRAL can't even afford to max out on Ultraling Bane, so a Spire is a luxury that he can't afford. No, there's no way. If he goes Spire, he dies. He needs more Lingbane Ultra, and he needs to just use Queens to try and defend. But that means this gold base is forfeit. He's got to give it up. Ultras do fight with a bit of a Fungal, but Clem's micro out of this world, and SERRAL overrun and has to tap out. That was one of these games that is so close. SERRAL did so many things correctly in this game, but it all starts with that drop in the main. That 8 medevacs in a Marine, big difference, and then this push over here with the bloody siege tanks, man. That push was crazy. Was that like 10 minutes? It's around this point. About 10 minutes. I want to watch that again quickly while we host this next game. Shout out to Rex, guys, our lovely Taiwanese streamer commentator who has been hosting all the lobbies for me. We co-opted him day one, said, can you please do this for me? And he said, yep, no worries. And he's been doing it the whole time since then. Yeah, this was crazy, man. So look at this Marine micro, guys. The Infestors get left out. It is a mistake for SERRAL, but these are the mistakes that Clem forces. Gets 3. And at the same time, the Widow Mines kill all the Zerglings. Yeah, the tanks die, but you lose like 60 Zerglings to kill 2 tanks. Like, that fight was just too good for him there. If the Infestors survive, maybe it's a different story. Now, would you guys agree taking this hatchery is a mistake? I think this hatchery sucks. I think he should have been going for this hatchery from the start. Don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I think it's just, honestly, that medevac escaping was so clutch, and then this fight was so sick getting those Infestors. All right, guys. Clem in the bottom left side of the map after a fantastic game 1. He's on to Tourmaline, his map pick. SERRAL in the top right. SERRAL's gonna, I think, more likely to play a bit of a special build order here, guys. Much more likely to play a special build order. That's interesting. Overlord into 15 hatchery. Don't see that every day. It's a purposeful variation for SERRAL, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. Barracks gas for Clem. I think if there's a build where SERRAL's going to do one of his cheeky roach builds, try to get away with this or that, Tourmaline could be good for it. This was a map where people were having really good success against Clem with Hydras, but since Clem's played against it so much, he's so good at doing those early Marine tank pushes. And it tends to overwhelm and punish those Hydra builds. Like, I've seen Solar do some of the greediest Hydra builds ever, and no one can get damage against him. And he plays Clem, and Clem just overran him. We were like, what? How did Clem beat you on Mothership? And Solar was like, yeah, I had a really good early game. I should have been able to defend anything. I was kind of confused, and I was like, yeah, I think when you play Clem, you just have to build like 6 to 8 less drones and have a bit more army. You know, in the group stage we were talking about that. We were just like, how did he kill you on Mothership? And to be fair, Clem actually cut drones for his Marine tank push on that map. This is an SCV scout. Could use it to block the 3rd as well. Why is SERRAL Loki dressed like a good boy? Yeah, if you have a collar, it makes you a good boy. A nerd. A loser in gamer terms. You're meant to have sore stains down your oversized t-shirt like the guy commentating right now. I agree, Twitch chat. Nah, to be fair, SERRAL... I've been liking SERRAL's style lately. I think he's looking good. Gets a Zergling. Queen pops out, pushes you away. Not a bad start. 3rd queen begins. SERRAL has not swapped to the Rainer style. Rainer's been going Creep Tumor first. Like, waits for the Queen to come down, guards the Creep Tumor, and if the Reaper takes that much damage, you can actually put it down straight away. I think if the Reaper takes that much damage, you should always go Creep Tumor first, because he's on red hit points, he can't really go forwards to defend it. SERRAL wants to take the base on the right side. Interesting. Interesting, but he does send the Queen back. SERRAL's just going to have to accept droning up 2 bases for a bit longer here. Oh, he goes for the connecting creep tumor. Ah, he'll spread here, here, and then try to go down the cliff, I think. Guys, it's Sunday. He's got to go to church after this. Oh, I love the theory crafting in the chat. 2 drones head to the 3rd. Oh, that's interesting. So this is what we call redundancy, guys. You got to have this when you play Clem. He's always going to kill 1, so you got to send 2 drones. 3rd command center into Hellion Banshee follow-up. Pretty standard stuff here for Clem. There is a very quick layer coming in. 2nd gas as well. 3rd gas. It looks like a muta build, but what else could it be, guys? I mean, I think this is mutas. And you know what? The fact that he's playing Hellion Banshee, I think it's a good build choice. One of the problems that players have run into is if you play, and SERRAL especially, is if he plays 2 base openings, normally Clem goes so much of that double marine drop. And we were interviewing Clem about it yesterday, and he gave this whole analysis of why it's hard to tell what Zerg's doing when they tech quickly on 2 bases, and marine and medevac pressure early seems to be like a good response. And I kind of summed it up because he did this very lengthy explanation. Oh, another creep tumor snipe. That's really bad for SERRAL. He said, well, yeah, and I was like, okay, like, not everyone understands your game knowledge. Sometimes it's a bit hard to follow, Clem. Is it fair to say that what you're actually saying is there's a lot of weird stuff Zerg can do, and man with gun and drugs and medevac beats everything? Best build? And he was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. And he actually mentioned quick hydras. I did not expect this. So I haven't actually seen the 2 base hydra opening, guys. Is this going to be a quick carapace or range? Which one do you go for? I think range is better than carapace when you're playing hydras because it's more about killing the marines before they kill you. But because you're so Queen Zergling heavy at the start, maybe you still go carapace? I'm not sure. Trying to use the Overlord creep drop to get that creep a bit further out since it did get delayed. He does indeed go carapace. And she's flying in. SERRAL playing a very contained build. This is going to be all about efficiency for SERRAL, guys. It's his 3rd's very delayed. He's got to kind of not take extra damage. That queen is a bit far away. She's not going to get there on time. Same time, Hellions distract on the front. Oh, 2 of the new ones rally in and get surrounded. 1 queen does go down. Banshee barely escapes. It is a cloakless Banshee, right? And it does go down. Okay, I think SERRAL's happy to lose a queen. As long as he gets the snipe. He's only got 3 queens. Lings go for a surround, but Clem's micro is amazing. +1 attack starts. Clem hasn't started his +1 armor. It's a weird situation. Now he sees the Hydra den and he goes, oh, okay, it's not mutas. He's probably thinking Mutalisks. SERRAL had a pretty damn good setup in the last game. I really liked the setup he had. This time, I feel like it's a bit of a weird one. Because he doesn't have a 4th hatchery up. He's got a good Hydra count early. It's just, do you go Infestors with these? If he tries to transition Banelings off this build, I will be very critical. I think one of the worst things you can do is go Banelings off of a small economy. I think Banelings is a big economy play, not a small economy play. And I think if he does it now off Hydras, it's going to be something that doesn't really pan out because he just doesn't have the numbers for the units to actually make contact. Overseer's looking for the engineering base. If he contaminates this back eBay, that'd be really good delay on the 1-1. Or the +1 attack. I mean, it'll kind of line it up with the +1 armor. SERRAL will see it. Oh, caught the Hellions, which is nice. And he does see it. He goes for the bottom one. Contaminate. SERRAL doesn't want to contaminate the upgrades today. Oh, and he contaminates the wrong one. Unfortunate. He's actually committing to a Hydra timing, guys. 22 Hydras, but the tanks are in a safe position. Clem knows about this pass. Combat shields isn't there. It's a massive Hydra Ling all in. The positioning is amazing for Clem, though, and he's going to pull the boys. Hydras try to get in there. The Lings try to jump on top. The Hydra's doing good damage. They've got Carapace. They've got plus. They've got the Carapace and the groove, the muscular augments and the groove spines. And oh my lord, he shreds him. He shreds him. What was that? Upgrade timings matter, kids. SERRAL just did a Terran. This is role reversal. This is like every Zerg's experience in TvZ is, like, can you just give me a minute to get my upgrades and like my combat shields and stuff? And like, you know, for Zerg, it's like, can I get Bane speed? Can you give me a minute for my Roach speed to finish? Give me a minute for my Carapace to finish? Because Terran's always the one with a little bit less economy and the faster upgrades, and then they hit you and you're like, fuck, no, not right now. Give me a minute. SERRAL did it. SERRAL's economy is shit. He's on 55 drones against 63. Sorry for my French, guys. I apologize. But yeah, no, 22 Hydras. Both upgrades kicked in. Movement speed and range. Bunch of Zerglings as well. And he just shreds it. Wow, that's a sick timing, man. Sick timing, and neither of the upgrades was finished. Not that the Contaminate finished. The +1 finishes, and his whole army's just shredded. Wow. GG. Sick game 2 for SERRAL. Both players taking each other's favored maps off each other. You know we're in for a good series. I always say, if it goes 1-to-1 in a big series at the start on their strongest maps, that's the best sign of a good series incoming. All right, guys. CLEM in the bottom left side of the map for Team Liquid. SERRAL in the top right for Basilisk. It's a ZVT for the ages now, as it goes back onto a Zerg-friendly map, a map which I think CLEM is insane for not vetoing. I think this map is amazing for Zerg versus Terran, but CLEM, he has a way with his multi-prong, and he finds a way to use these big spread-out maps to out-multitask his opponents, and yeah, he kind of plays them to his favor, man. So I wonder if he can pull that off at all. You could have just shouted, Dot. You don't, yeah. Dot's just come into my room stealthily, and she's just sneakily pointing at me. She's like, "You're on the screen still." That's what I'm saying. Is just shout it. It's good. You just call out next time. Frosty Town, Pikachu, Mocktown. Thank you for the subs. Iluth, appreciate you guys. All right, guys. SERRAL in the top right side. Both players winning each other's map picks, which is fantastic news for this series. This is a pretty strong Zerg-heavy map. I think CLEM's crazy for vetoing Enclave, a good Terran map in my opinion, over this one. Rainer said as much yesterday when CLEM thought they were playing a best of 5, got surprised, accidentally tried to veto 2 maps. He said, "Oh, can I change it?" And Rainer was like, "You want to change your veto from Old Republic to Celestial Enclave?" And CLEM was like, "Yeah." Rainer's like, "Go for it, buddy. I will not get out. I will not let you, you know, I'm very happy for you to let me play this map and veto a map that I don't want to play, but CLEM has his reasons." Here for the SCV here, potentially block that 3rd base. Now, do we see a very 2-basey opening again here for SERRAL? In that last game, that was a very peculiar build. Oh, he's going to go for the low ground. Ambitious. I mean, if you get creep out from here, you can get it to the middle very early, but hard to defend from Hellions. That being said, having your 3rd delayed on this map is pretty nasty. Reaper's going to come in, substitute the hatchery a few times, so doesn't really have a lot of time to get work done. SERRAL shouldn't be losing any units here. So you can just pull back that front Zergling. Pull back to the other one as well. Queen is going to help out. Oh, he's going to get a Zergling, is he? The Reddit point Zergling hides. Queen did not want to miss inject timing. If he gets a 2nd, that's gross. CLEM does get pushed out, though, as the 2nd Queen arrives. 3rd command center on the way. Banshees, or is it a 2-1-1 this time, guys? I feel like CLEM's comfort zone is 2-1-1. Find out in a moment. Reaper's still just poking around. Gets pushed back. There's a creep tumor down now. It's the Starport. Okay, Starport again. He's been loving 2-1-1 on this map, specifically because it's such a good Mutalisk map, and 2-1-1 is the best way to get on top of that. And kind of say, hey, if you go early Mutas, as my Marines hit you, they're not very good at fighting Marines. Reaper moving north. Not going to get in there. Doesn't want to throw that Reaper away just yet. And you can see the Hellions are starting to come out of the factory. CLEM here just trying to establish a standard situation. You can also run up here and roast the drones from the high ground, remember. Few ways to be annoying on this map. Link speed's a few seconds away, but I think SERRAL realizing that is why there's no Queen in the main, because he knows, okay, yeah, right now it's annoying this Reaper, but in a few seconds, link speed kicks in and you've got to leave. Queens well spread, tracking the Hellion Reaper. Really nice play here for SERRAL. And the Queens are watching every one of CLEM's moves, but he stays so deep on creep anyway, doesn't he? Just not afraid, man. SERRAL's going to go around with a few Zerglings. Okay. Yeah, good choice. Queens are at the front. These Hellions thinking about darting in. Zerglings. Ooh, I think he was trying to stop exactly that maneuver. He knows CLEM tries to work all these different angles. This Reaper barely runs away and survives up this side as well. Queen's pushing him away. These 2 Lings run in. I don't know if he got high enough to see the Banshee. I'm going to imagine not. Though a lair does start immediately, which is absolutely what you want against Cloaked Banshee. Oof. Queen's moving around, Zerglings as well. The Hellion Reaper's rotating. It's Not able to find any big damages yet. I feel like SERRAL and Raynor, these Basilisk Zergs, have taken the defensive exposed center third bases to another level. Clem's blocked them so many times. They've got a lot of practice in this situation now. Gotta be careful. Hellions still only getting tiny bits of chip damage each time they thrust in like that. Double engineering base about to finish. Second and third barracks, of course, coming up. They'll be swapping over onto add-ons. Stim has begun. Banshee dancing around. The lair's almost there. Where is that second Banshee? He's going to join up with this one. 8 queens. Number 9 about to pop. 4th hatchery out of the competitive timing of just before 5 minutes. And it is going to be 5.5 minutes, already going past 60 drones here. So solid economic growth in the face of a very active CLEM. He drops a scan, does get a bunch of active tumors. Only takes a few hits from the queens as a price for that. SERRAL, though, quick to pull back his drones and the weak queen. Oh, lovely micro for SERRAL. Yeah, you'll lose a queen, but I think that's fine to put the Banshees deep in the lower hit points. You know, it's the queen's job to defend the Banshees, and the fact that there's no drones that have died this game, this is a near perfect early game for SERRAL. Double Evo Chamber's going to start 1-1. Should be about a minute behind, I think. 55 seconds, about 55, just under 54. Armory's on the way now for Clem, so he can start his 2-2. Is that before factory? It is. Okay. I mean, is that specifically because he wants to morph Hellbats with this medevac marine stim timing with 1-1 maybe? So normally you'll see Clem drop a second factory at his third base before that. These Hellions are quite damaged. Infestation pit's halfway done. 5 gases for SERRAL. Wants to go towards Hive off of this Lingbane setup. Probably adds a Hydrodon at some point. Could be for Ultras, though. I wouldn't mind it, man. I do love Ultras. 76 drones at 650. 63 for Clem. Clem's pushing forwards. That second factory we were talking about does go down at the third. Something stimmed. Oh, just to kill a changeling. SERRAL's got 9 Banelings up, 8 more. So it'll be 17 Banes. Hive has started. He's going to flank this army. Lingbane coming in from behind. It's a lot of Hellbats. 1 siege tank. Banelings and Queens on the front. Lingbane ready to sandwich it from behind. The morphing Banes do get cleaned up. Here we go. He's going to go for it. SERRAL comes in from 2 sides. Perfectly set up. And Clem gets absolutely waffle stomped. Holy moly. Wow. Dude, I mean, what was Clem's army ever even there? SERRAL quickly mops up the blood. Puts a fresh coat of paint on the floor and says, no, who are you talking about? No, young French boy? Haven't seen him. Never heard of him. No, don't know. Don't know what you're talking about, officer. Double barracks goes down the left side. The Zergling's over here as well. Clem, finally, is this a good enough start to put him in his place? Because I feel like Clem often has starts like this, and just one small slip up afterwards often leads to defeat. SERRAL pushing forwards off creep to defend this hatchery, but he needs Lingbane support. The Banshees joining with this is a problem. That will be a hatchery cancel, I believe. Clem comes back on the right as well. Overseer's there. And the Lingbane. Good cancel into rebuild. Banshee goes down. Right side's exposed. Oh, it's only 3 Marines. Okay. Right side's not too exposed. It's more about keeping this side up. The creep relentlessly spreading here. Clem is keeping him so busy. If SERRAL... Ah, he sends his whole army to defend. Big mistake. Queen's Court. Slightly off creep for a moment. SERRAL's got the Ultra Cavern already on the way. 8 minutes 40. Hive is done. Adrenal glands have started. SERRAL's going to take another gas, start transferring. He's only on 80 workers. This is not Raynor territory. I think if Raynor wins a fight like this, he's on 90, 100 drones. SERRAL's not a rich boy. SERRAL is a guy who has always played lower economy than a lot of the other Zergs. He needs to crush the fights because of that. 1 Infestor out. 78 Zergans, 24 Banes. I'm still being a nuisance. The Banshees of Maru severely traumatized SERRAL on 10,000 feet the other day, guys. He was talking about how painful they were. That was a mech build where there was a lot of Banshees, of course, but still. Lingbane. Ooh, Clem not watching. Lingbane gets on top of the tanks at the same time. Yeah, Widowmine gets a decent shot, but dude, clears up the top left without Clem watching and gets rid of the tanks on the right. Not sure if he landed a fungal or not, as the Infestor has used a fungal. Wow, Clem's in trouble. He's looking stressed. He's got to really dig deep now. It's good to see. I mean, SERRAL looked amazing against Maru in his early games, guys. Even though Maru came out on top at the end, you got to realize how close those games look. Fungal Baneling, watch out, Clem! Of course he picks up, only loses 3 Marines. No one else is so consistently baiting fungals and dodging them. He's the only guy who does that. That is actual ridiculousness. You know, don't get me wrong, people will dodge on the front by stimming out of range of it, but the way he does it, he just stands there, waits for it to be midair, and then picks up. Does it such a high frequency. But the queens are going to get rid of him. Ooh, a couple of Widow Mines get caught. Clem just diving right now. He's hoping to create chaos, but he might actually be throwing his army away in the process. Baneling's getting hit by Widow Mines a bit. The Zerglings overwhelm. It's a good fight for SERRAL, man. Queens, get rid of one of these medevacs. He can respread creep down here as well and regain control. SERRAL splitting to both sides of the map very well, and he's keeping pace with the fastest, most aggressive, and many Zergs would say most obnoxious Terran player in the world. And that puts him in a solid position. But guess what? It does not stop. Clem, when he's in trouble, what does he do? He clicks faster, he clicks harder. Widow Mine drop finds the center, gets 10 drones. Plus 3 weapons is on the way. He's still slightly out on those upgrades. He's got a 4th base landed, but he doesn't have more command centers right now. That's where Clem is falling short. There is no 5th getting taken. This is the sort of game where you look over and Clem has a 5th base and you're like, when did that happen? Continuing to cause havoc. A Spore Crawler will be needed on this side to deal with this, I believe. Green's going to run here. Ling Bane is there. Clem is going to activate Psycho multitasking mode. Very easy to lose in these situations. Ling Bane will clean this up. Queens cannot take care of that lib. Got it. Oh, okay. South side. Here comes the rest of the bio, though. Ling Bane Infestor coming forward. Widow Mine will land some shots. Queen Transfuse is deliciously well done. SERRAL might want to flank around the south and just surround this army. Spire's on the way finally. Yeah, Spire's so important against this because the moment Corruptors come out, Clem will get shut down. He can't do all this anymore. The libs will get destroyed. The medevacs will get shot down. But it's about a minute and a half until Corruptors are on the map. Until that point, could SERRAL counterattack? The answer is yes. If he could bust this base, or even just get some Ling Run buys on the 3rd, force Clem to defend would be excellent. It's Liberator surviving. How many libs has he lost this game? He hasn't lost a single lib this game. Dude, that lib's been microed so many times, hasn't it? Biomedevac moving down the right side. Liberator's going to siege up. Biomine doing what they can. Decent smear. But the Lings come in. Bane's from behind. Oh, there we go. Center of mass. Is SERRAL caught distracted. Looking up here at this top left incursion. Finally took some big Widow Mines, but this is the thing where every Zerg, in their mind, every Widow Mine always hits and is the most broken unit in the world. And every Terran always says, well, look, half the time they friendly fire or hit one Zergling. It's the worst unit in the world. And it's all about the averages. In a long game, you're always going to get a few of those Widow Mine shots. It's not the end of the world. It's all about the average across time. And there's been a lot of these fights where SERRAL has jumped on him so quickly and Clem has just turned and ran. And if you turn and run with your bio, you don't have the ability to stand and fight because you're deep on creep or whatever. The front Zerglings easily drag those Widow Mines into your own units, and that's been happening a fair bit. So it was about time Clem finally landed a big Widow Mine shot there. It was really necessary for him. Could cancel in the top left as well. Only one Corruptor so far. SERRAL needs a bit of supply free so we can add some more. Like, this army should not be able to hang this deep in the top left. But he's doing an amazing job, isn't he? Oh, the Queens are decently angled there. Yeah, he's going to get rid of one of the libs, maybe both even. Some Queens will fall, though. Southside, Fungal lands. Another Fungal lands. Wow, pretty good fight here for SERRAL, man. That's his only... I was going to say, I said that was his only Infestor. He had another one borrowed behind. It pops up from behind in the rear with the gear. That's what the SCV says, but it's also what the Infestor says. For those who don't know, Infestors are like those birds that can parrot human speech, where you say something near them, like, in the rear with the gear, in the rear with the gear. You know, Polly want a cracker, in the rear with the gear. And that's how the Infestor taunts you as it pops up from the ground and blasts your Marauders. Holds them still while the Banelings explode on their face. 4 libs coming forward with advanced ballistics. It's that early lib transition that Clem loves, and a 5th base is now up. So he's still in this. But he's only got 3 orbitals, and the Corruptors are coming. And the Corruptors do counter the libs quite hard. Can he stand up versus Ultras? Or I think he's a bit too far behind to stand versus the Ultras. Like, the Marauder count can stutter step them down, but normally the libs are what blast the Ultras. With the Corruptors here, and just the force of Ultraling Bane on this map, it's going to be hard. Then again, creep spread's being kept in its corner. SERRAL doesn't have that crazy creep control. Drop goes past in the north. SERRAL's going to counterattack and leave that base open, which means he will lose some hatcheries. No, he pulls back. I think that's the better choice. One Ultra goes down to Widow Mines. Good Fungal! Good Widow Mines as well. Quite a few of those guys go down. I think Serral needs a few more units to win this side, and we'll see. Lands another fungal, gets a few units, but not too many, and he gives up the base. Does clean up these guys in the top. Nidus Worm goes in the middle. Lings are in the third as well. Very nice move here for Serral. Just a few Zerglings in the Nidus Worms. It's not a massive move. He did clean up the top left. Looks like Clem didn't pick that up. Clem's still stuck on 5 base, while Serral is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Serral's only just established a 6th because he lost this one. Oh, he does have the bottom right, though. Oh, there's still a field of Widow Mines here. So many Widow Mines. So many Widow Mines. It might be time to just bust the middle or something. Feel like he's got to do something to put Clem in his corner. Oh, this works. This is a very good move. Quite a few of those Widow Mines going down. Overseer's happy to drag a few shots away from the Zerglings. It's not like Overseers are that cheap, though. Lings are burrowed, ready to come back up. Clem doesn't have a lot of map control. You can see he's venturing out with Libs, trying to siege things up. There's only 2 Infestors on this map. 1 burrowed on the right, this guy wandering on the left. I think you always want to have a few Corruptors on your off-lane squad, even if it's just 1 or 2. Yeah, he's sending 1. He's added 1 Corruptor to his top left army, just to put a timer on things like this. 88 drones are still up. Income not that high, though, as he's getting evacuated constantly as Serral. 9 drones go down to the Widow Mine, and Clem just darting in with his small squad and finding so much damage. Bloody nightmare to play against this guy, isn't he? Spore Crawler Corrupted do take care of the Lib in the top. Serral's new base here is going to be back up in a moment. +2 range, +2 flyer attacks on the way. 3/3 in Adrenal, as well as, of course, Kindness Planing. And so both Ultra upgrades, the armor and the Synthesis are there. Look at that. He only unburrows some of his Zerglings. Oh, that's cute. So, oh, he burrows them in front, though. So, tells him about the next one. Nidus Worm in the main again. I did love the Ling drops Serral did versus Maru in some of his games. Libs do bad anti-air damage. They do splash damage. Yeah, they used to be a bit better, but they don't do too much. I don't think they do a bonus versus light anymore, do they, guys? They used to do bonus versus light. I don't know if they still do that. But Corruptors have 2 armor. So you need to get to the point where it's like 50 Libs against 50 Corruptors, and then the Libs are amazing. I mean, I'm exaggerating. It's not quite that number. Why isn't Clem making Ghosts? So Ghosts are a very static unit. He's making them now, guys, but you need a lot of money for them, which he hasn't had. He's only been on 3 orbitals the whole game. So he was playing more of a tempo style, but Serral's been able to stop it. He's going to go to it now, but I don't know if it's going to be in time. Snipes for the Ultras would be good. He doesn't really need Ghosts against anything else. It's just for the Ultras. Libs and Marauders can deal with Ultras on their own. But yeah, I think he was hoping to win this game in the kind of early mid-game, early late game, or the late mid-game, however you want to call it. Another Nidus Worm going up in that main base. It's been very constant with that. I think Serral letting him take this bottom right might be a mistake, eh? I think he should actually dive this base here. This is the weak spot. Serral doesn't have the same info we do. Needs to get these changelings going rogue style to get a bit more info on where the army is. I think Serral's going to go for the middle base. Let's see the Widow Mine there. Should see this one as well. He should send an Overseer or something to deal with this. Push on the right side comes in for Clem. Transfuse on the Spore to keep it alive. Serral's slowing down, guys. He's got a big economy advantage. There's no mass orbitals. So you'd think it's still very good, but we'll see how it goes. Clem's late game control is insane. Banelings roll into the base. The Ultras and Banelings clear it, and he runs away. You might wonder, why run away? Why not go further? Well, he doesn't know where the other army's coming from. Doesn't want to get his whole army caught from behind. Doesn't want to get all sniped. There's always a moment where you overextend and then the snipes land and all your Ultras get popped. He does have +3 flyer attacks coming in. Another Nidus Worm in behind that third base. Microbial Shroud will be added, which will help a lot against the Libs and the Marauders. Not so much against the Ghosts, but there's only 2 Ghosts out. Chat says he has 8 orbitals now. Wow, really? He's got to 7. Well done. Good job jumping up. Clem is trying to transition into that proper late game. Darts in, gets a hatchery snipe. Very, very nice move. That's a very dangerous move, though, the Corruptor Punish. The Corruptor Punish, man. A lot of the medevacs going down. So many medevacs going down, and Serral thought about chasing in, decides not to. Units lost up 5,000 in favor of Clem. Nidus Worm goes down. No way, this command center gets up for free. Bottom right side still defended by 5 range Liberators with +3 armor, guys. It's a lot of units in that bottom right corner. Serral's probably wise to not go there. He's got 12 Corruptors of his own. Against 9 libs, 12 medevacs. Which is a good call. Unitas Worm gets up. Does SERRAL unload Zerglings? Yes, he does. Maybe try and burrow them around this base as well. Could be good. Overseer down the bottom. Still survives. Spotting for the next wave. Corruptors are going to try and dive. There's not many ghosts, so this is a pretty safe move. Start sniping the libs before the fight even begins. The Infest is very dangerous. Gets itself some nice fungals. Another good fungal, but there's not that much Ultra Baneling here. So he's got to pull back now, but clearing those libs is huge. And I think that's really good fight there. Trading about evenly with CLEM. He's bringing the rest of his army over from the left side. The Zerglings are the quickest to remax, so they're the unit you always want to go here. And CLEM, whenever you do damage to him, he always wants to counter swing, but that means stepping into fungal Zergling remax, not to mention the Corruptors, which chase those medevacs down. And this is where the Corruptor value comes in, because normally, Terran always, before the Corruptors come out, they've got that safety measure. Pick up in the medevacs boost away. That gets taken away once the Corruptors get to the field. SERRAL there with an absolutely beautiful game. I mean, that early game was great. The mid game was great. The late game was great. CLEM tried to get the tempo going, but I think what was really impressive and what I was so staggered by, if you go to like 9 minutes, it's how quick SERRAL got this right side base up. I mean, at this stage, this is normally where we see people struggling to get a 5th base up. He went for 2 5th bases, and even though the top one got cancelled once or twice, and his army was like constantly split to both sides, most players crumble under this and they get caught with not enough units. SERRAL did such a good job reinforcing both sides. Remember, this was when he cleared up that push at the exact same time. CLEM wasn't watching and lost like 15 Marines there. That was a really big turning point in this game. All right, guys. CLEM in the top right side of the map, suffering a 2nd defeat in a row to SERRAL. But we are going to Mothership, a map where defending those expansions... You thought it was hard before, SERRAL. It's about to get amplified. Mothership is a tough map. You might be wondering, why does the screen look like that? Because we are actually on a mothership. That's right. You can see, I don't think that's its engines. I think we're doing an entry burn on this planet. Oh, you're not meant to look at this angle of the planet. Sorry, guys. I'll stop. Look, it looks... Oh, no, it doesn't look beautiful from there. Okay. Oh, God. The planet's not fully rendered. But look, we're doing an entry burn. We're fighting over this mothership as we try to enter this planet. And you can't fly outside these shields. This is all no-go area. So there's not a lot of dead space for the Terran to drop and harass. That's one really good thing for SERRAL. Downside, where does he expand? Now in this, it's a 3-player map. He doesn't know where CLEM is. I imagine he has to go 3rd here, 4th here, 5th here. Expand along the left away from CLEM. I do think mutas are amazing here. And if CLEM really focuses on pushing that top side, you might keep losing either this base or this base. So you want to also expand along the right kind of towards CLEM. Potentially as well. But it can get quite nasty, especially if Terran gets center control, where they can kind of push forwards to the left or to the right, and it can be really, really difficult. That being said, as much as that's hard to defend those bases, there's also a really big advantage to being Zerg here, which is, it's a giant map, and it takes forever for Terran to push these bases. Yes, they're stretched out far. It's hard for Zerg to have the right units in the right place. There's these ledges where tanks can be brutal on top of them. On the other hand, Terran has to move so far out to threaten those bases, and that's why I always think Zerg should expand away from the Terran. Even though a lot of Zerg's instinct is keep a tight formation, but expand towards the Terran and just beat them front on. I think that's a very dangerous call. How much do mutas get hampered by the air blockers? A little bit as well, for sure. They don't have as much room to dance in and out, but it's just there's so much room to cover that left side. You can still dart around a little bit, but it definitely does hurt Mutalisks as well. To be fair, not many players feel safe getting to Mutalisks against CLEM. He does go 3rd command center after the 2-Rex Reaper. He hasn't killed anything though. It's 1 Zergling. It's 25 minerals plus a building trick. 2 queens on the natural. 3rd one coming out in the main shortly. If the Reapers jump up the ledge, he will have to scramble to defend. Fourth Reaper. 5th Reaper even is coming. Wow. Well, that's a dead 3rd base, right? Is it though? Hatchery has 300 hit points. All right, the game's going to be decided by this fight, guys. Ling speed, mass Zergling the way. SERRAL needs to do nothing but Zerglings. There are 5 Reapers here. I think the Queens are doing really good damage on that Reaper that just rallied in. Hatchery now has 1 armor. That's a 25% damage reduction on the Reapers since they do 2 times 4 damage. Ling's coming for the wraparound. Woo, he's going to get him. Oh, he's going to get them all. Oh, no. Sacre bleu. You can see Clem shook his head there. He leaned. He went back in his chair. Then he leaned back in. Oh. Oh, fromage, dirty Zerg player. Ah, my baguette is bent. Oh no. Now, for anyone else, this is a tragic start, and it could be a 3-1 lead for SERRAL. But knowing Clem, this is where he digs deep, and he just gets out of control. This is like Clem. I don't count him out from here. The thing is he going to be tilted? I feel like even when Clem's tilted, he actually plays better when he's a bit angry. I've seen him swearing and like reacting while microing 3 things at once near perfectly. Imagine killing a hatchery with Reapers. Oh, it's the 3rd hatchery they build right in front of you. 2-Rax Reaper opening pressure. Feel like you kind of meant to almost get that kill, but with how much SERRAL was committing to defending it, he kind of had to defend it. If he wasn't able to defend that, oof. Building that many Zerglings, that quick link speed, not droning his 2 bases that quickly, he would have been in a rough spot. But look at this. Quick single Evo follow-up. Adds a 2nd Evo now. Great follow-up for SERRAL. This creep. Really good creep control. I notice he's low on queens, guys. He's just building a 6th queen now. I think he stops there. And he says, hey, you know, I just go for a more mobile army. Have more stuff on the map. Zergling gets picked off by the Marines. Overlord will see the command center come down. This is not the game Clem was looking for. That is for sure, guys. I'm telling you, you know what's so weird? Is SERRAL's... Some people are saying SERRAL's washed or this or that, or he's not that good. It's like anyone who watched the SERRAL Maru series the other day knows how weird it is. Because SERRAL both dominated Maru in like the opening stages of 2 games, and then also Maru managed to win those games. And we know only Maru could have won those games. But we also know, what the hell? SERRAL's not meant to lose from that far ahead. He's SERRAL. And there's so many question marks, right? Because parts of SERRAL's play recently have been absolutely incredible. But there's been these surprise moments. Like right now when your queens get caught. Oh, got Zerglings there. There's a lot of stim shield Marines, man. He's going to sack them all to kill the hatchery, maybe. Oh, I like the Lings microing. He said, look, if you commit to the hatchery, I'll surround you. But because Clem pulled away, SERRAL doesn't throw his guys away, lets him escape. Only 4 Marines went down. Does he stop him getting home, though? This is where it's like, boost the medevacs across. Evac mission! Boost the medevacs out. Evac mission! We gotta get our boys home. We can't leave them out there. They're deep in Zerg territory. Oh, no! Where's our evac? Where's our evac? Oh, nice fight for SERRAL. Clem, if he got those Marines back and joined them up, this would have been hard for SERRAL. But now, SERRAL's got Carapace. Melee's almost there. 1-1's on the way. The evac arrives too late. Fourth base already starting to drone. +2 carapaces started near instantly. Has Clem even started his armory? He hasn't. Guys, Clem has not started his armory. So even though this is 1-1 finishes, he can't start 2-2. Carapace is going to get a big lead. Clem. The thing is, you know what he has to do. He knows what he has to do. He has to turtle. He has to build tanks and Marines and just sit there and chill. And he needs to, like, put on his Maru hat. Like, he needs to lean over, pull out that photorealistic Maru mask next to him, put it on his face, and he needs to build a wall and sit behind it and make ghosts and command centers and libs and just survive. He could still be annoying with his drops like this, but he cannot do the normal full tempo style. He's building 5 depots at once. Man's traumatized by supply blocks. Doesn't want those to ever happen again. I think Bane's going to try to run in, or just Zerglings, actually. Chadhammer's on the high ground, but she might do a lot of friendly fire. You got to be careful, Chadhammer. Ooh, these guys are very damaged. He's got to be careful with those. SERRAL's on 2-2. Upgrades halfway done. OV speed's on the way still. Armory's just started. Oh, Clem he's got to play better when he's behind. You know, that's what Maru does so well. Because he plays so slow, so calm, does Maru. Clem, he's a guy who likes to fight back with action. And in this sort of game, you cannot be forgetting upgrades for this long. Got that base on the left side as well. I'm so torn because, you know, I wouldn't mind SERRAL winning here and getting a rematch against Maru. But I also don't want to see this series run away too badly. I want to see Clem tested. It's been so long since SERRAL bullied Clem. If you go back, 2020 was when Clem first showed that he was the best CVT player in the world. And he was just like, if you let him play standard, he would just win. And SERRAL spent like 3 years bullying Clem and not letting him play a single standard game. Burrowed Roaches, Bane Busts. sneaky mutas, Ling Bane timings, constant counterattacks, little run-bys. But the last year and a half, Clem has got a much better winning record against SERRAL. Let's pick up some Marines, gets out of there. Very, very good micro there for Clem. Very well done. But, you know, I think Clem is so fast and so good at StarCraft that even when you've got him on the edge, he's so hard to finish off. And if Clem can just chill and hold on for a bit in this game, even if he loses the game, I think he can rebuild confidence. I really think he can. 2-2s on the way. Double upgrade disadvantage. We're going to have a mass drop into that main base. Clem probably sees it coming. Maybe not. If he clumps the overlords enough, maybe not. There's one tank on the high ground. She'll go down very quickly. This Clem doesn't have vision. Clem does not have vision. SERRAL's going to bust the front as well. SERRAL waited too long to go with his advantage against Maru earlier in the group stage. He's not going to make that mistake again. Ling drop in the main base. A massive Ling drop. A lot of Maru's units are on the map, which means he is not ready for the absolute swarm. Oh my lord, that is a lot of Zerg. There is so much Zerg here. The bio comes back. SERRAL actually backs away from it in the main base, though. It has been completely ransacked, and his upgrades might go down. His upgrades might go down. The E-bays are taking damage. The Ling Bane is still here, dancing in and out, baiting multiple stims. E-bays are burning, and Clem cannot hold on. SERRAL, off of that excellent opening, barely defending the third from the 5 Reaper. Clem goes for heavy pressure, and SERRAL's defense is immaculate. Gets control, and this time, he doesn't let the Terran work their way back into it. He finishes the game off with a beautiful mass Ling drop in the back. All right, guys. Basilisk, SERRAL in the bottom right side of the map. Clem in the top left. He's got to fight hard, or he will be ended. There's a few things I want to see from Clem in this game, guys. One of them involves a Liberator harass, which he doesn't lose. He keeps it alive, and then it just sieges here, and it hangs out and denies this base later on, because Zergs hate playing roaches on this map. But if you don't have a Ravager, you cannot reach a non-range Liberator. It can deny the minerals on your 4th base. Likewise, I wouldn't mind Clem not SCV blocking for once, because normally what he'll do is if he blocks this side, Zerg takes this 3rd hatchery, and then they don't have to take this exposed base to the lib until later on. So I think there's kind of a tactical, actually let them take this base, even though it's a pretty good standard 3rd, just because then the 4th is a bit more exposed. But maybe I'm overthinking it. There's definitely like so many ways you can play a StarCraft game, and we'll see what Clem brings out. He's had some really good tempo styles on this map. His libs have done amazingly well versus a lot of players. Solar, Rainer, a few others. I think SERRAL's just got an early enough lead where the libs are coming in a bit late. Like, basically, I feel like this series has been SERRAL's defending well, Clem's pushing harder to try to get back into it, and then SERRAL's, like, basically passing multiple very, very hard defenses. But each one he survives, he gets a bit further ahead. And then as Clem's being, like, we haven't really seen Clem get to the late game, right? Like, yeah, he got a few ghosts out. Yeah, he's getting a 5th base down. But, like, yeah, he had 7 orbitals. But at that point, SERRAL had so much bank advantage. Infestors burrowed on the map. Corruptors, Ultras, Lings, Banes everywhere. Like, way more bases. You know, we've seen a Clem that is trying to dominate SERRAL with his normal multi-prong, and it hasn't paid off. And SERRAL takes the left base, which I used to always think this was a disaster because it's so hard to defend, but similar to that low ground base on Old Republic, SERRAL, Rainer, they've both defended this near flawlessly so many times. I almost look at it and go, yeah, that's normal. You guys are going to be fine defending that base. You're that good. We did give Clem a 5-minute break, probably a little bit longer than that. I immediately didn't even ask him. I was just like, 5-minute break. There was a bit of a keyboard desk smash, desk slam, whatever it was at the end of that last game. I don't think it was like a crazy... I didn't see it. I'll have to watch the clip later, guys, but maybe someone could have share that clip with me after this game if the series goes on. I can show it for everyone who missed it live. But I imagine it wouldn't be that angry. I imagine it was a small flat of the fist on the desk, which is not too bad. You know, there are different levels. I don't think he petite drogoed his keyboard, for instance. For those who don't know, there's a few famous keyboard smashes that come to mind when I think of StarCraft Rage. One is QXC basically destroying his like camera and keyboard with like a furious, I think it was a double fist slam. But the Petite Drogo was at actually a big premiere event where he lost a game, and then the camera went to him and he punched his desk so hard that his, like, was it his mouse? His mouse basically levitated in the air for like a full 2 seconds. It was actually, it was hilarious. Ooh! Alright. Nice surround there for SERRAL. 1 Hellion, 1 Reaper. The great thing about the QXC one is he like destroyed his setup and he still types GG before leaving the game. Shout out to Kevin, great board game designer these days. Three more barracks coming up. Hellions and Banshees on the way. Petite Drogo was mogging everyone at Home Story Cup, by the way, with his setup. Aviators inside, long hair, super chill. I don't know if he's on that Crefeld Ganj or not, but he definitely looked like he was having a chill time. He was bringing good vibes that whole Home Story Cup. Drogo on the couch talking about going to the bakery. Big highlight. Hellions going to the right side. Banshee's coming down the left. So far, Serral's defense has been good, and he's got that quick fourth down. A deny on that would be really good. This gets pushed back. This is a Hellion Banshee, pretty standard play. I'm surprised Clem's not played any 2-1-1, guys. I feel like it's kind of surprising. He's done that so much recently. Did a lot against Raynor yesterday. We'll see how it goes. He might just be saying, let's play a bit more cool, calm, controlled. I think basically like the coaching advice for Clem would be, let's take 5% off our aggression and just hit our macro perfectly and just set up for our timing attacks a little bit smoother. Serral's not dying and straight up multitasking today. Let's make sure our timings and our macro are good, because I actually think Clem might be quite favored against Serral in late game. Wouldn't have said that a few years ago. Oh, that's bad. Banshee goes down for free. Hellions, think about rotating, but there's more than enough Zerglings here. Clem's wary to the threat, backs away. Banshee comes down this left side. Look at that. Second factory goes down. Armory should be next for Clem. What I'm really judging for Clem's mentality is how tight he is on his upgrades. Like, how quickly does shield start? How quickly does his armory and then his 2-2 go down? Banshee backs away. This is fine. You don't need to do crazy damage at this stage. Serral's playing very well, though, and he is going... Oh, Serral forgot Carapace. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love +1 Hydras. I think it's an actual decent play. He does start the Carapace now, a bit later. Going straight for Hydras here. 78 drone Hydra. And Hydras are so good for shutting down the... Because normally the Marines can stutter step, focus Shillings, and Banes down all day. Hydras with range make that much harder. The early Baneling transition, me and Raynor both squint at it. We go, ugh. We're not big fans of the early Banelings with this build, but I think it's fine. Serral's had such a good opening, man. Look at this. 2-1 in the trading. He's lost 6 Zerglings and an Overlord. And the Overlord only just died. He's all over this opening. Of course, he's only up 10 workers. There is a quick fourth. The armory's finally coming down, but this is all giving time for Serral to catch up on the upgrades. That is the difference between kind of the slow play of Maru. His upgrade timings are everything. Clem, so used to being more of a tempo player. He's not as focused on hitting those perfect upgrade timings. Creep Tumor does get cleaned up by the scan. Good Hellion move. Hydra Queen should be able to defend this side now that he's got Groove Spines, even without the 1-1. Serral's got himself a lead in this game, that's for sure. What can he do with it? If Clem's not headbutting, I don't know if he can do that much. 2-2 started. He'll maintain about a 40-second upgrade advantage, maybe 50 seconds on the attack over the armor of Zerg. With how quick you can start 3-3, he can maintain that upgrade advantage for a while. The creep has been contained a little bit. 6th base for Zerg, already on the way. Infestation Pit also. The Muscular Augments kicks in. So you got both Hydra upgrades. Range, soon Carapace as well. Could play full Maru, Mr. Clem. Will he opt for it? So we're not watching. That's uncharacteristic. I guess he was jumping on him at the front. It looks like he sniped a... that was a Hellion, right? No, he got a medevac. He did get a medevac there. Right side. How many Hydras have we lost? Nothing. 20 Zerglings only. This is interesting because the advice I would give is take 5% off your aggression. It feels like Clem's taken about 60% off of his aggression. You got to be careful about sitting back too much here and giving too much room to Serral as well. Because it feels like he's maybe lost a bit of confidence with the results from his previous games, and he's kind of going, oh, I don't feel confident going in here. And I mean, most of us say the moment your confidence is gone, you're dead in a StarCraft match. Especially for a guy like Clem, whose whole thing is shoving in and focusing units down. He's not miles behind, he's maxed out. He has upgrades. He's got combat shields, finally did get remembered. He's got 8 barracks here. Well, actually, no, it's only 7. Or is it? No, no, he's already got... He just built one barracks early. And now he's going for... Oh, this ramp is the no-go zone. Breaking the rocks really smart for SERRAL. It turns it from a no-go zone to a maybe if you flank. Maybe. Hydraling in the top right will clean this up. Beautiful clean up there for SERRAL. He should be getting rid of most of that. Medevac saves one Marine. Infestus could fungal. I'd love to see SERRAL flank from this top right ramp as well. Oh, he's going a little early as SERRAL, but he's going to have the numbers, I think. The Widow Mines are mostly firing backwards. The Banelings do get boom-boomed. That's a brilliant cleanup for SERRAL. Coming from two sides. Units lost tab is still dead even. Clem's push fighting there. +2 melee was quite delayed. But that's because he went... Actually, no, it wasn't. It's because he had to go +1 melee. Oh, perfect upgrade timing, actually, for SERRAL. He's already got triple upgrades. Carapace catching up. Lurkaden's coming in as well. Wow. Okay, SERRAL really in control of this game, dude. Is he going to 4-1 Clem? Nobody expected this. Nobody expected these results, but SERRAL's been getting angry. People in the internet, losers on the internet have been saying he's washed, and this is his reply. This is his reply. This is the resounding shut your mouth. We made the poster for this tournament. We specifically chose a photo of SERRAL with a finger over his lips because he was like, I can hear your dumb comments. I can hear your dumb comments. So-called fans, where the moment I lose 2 series, you call me out. You say, oh, I'm washed because I lost 2 series? Get out of here. SERRAL switching it on right now. He's in control of this game. Good fungals, good banes. Clem is in trouble right now. SERRAL's openings against Maru were stellar, but he wasn't able to close the games out. Here against Clem, an entirely different story. The Widow Mine shots are trying to keep him at bay, but Clem is vastly outnumbered. Only 25 Marines on the map and 8 Marauders. The Lurkers with the Infestors. That's not something you want to fight into, but he catches SERRAL. Oh, but SERRAL catches him! Fungal all over, and Clem not able to keep pace with SERRAL. It felt like he just couldn't get anything going in that last game. This base is not meant to be defensible. It is not meant to be something that is easy to do. And the Basilisk Zergs, Raynor and SERRAL, they are always surprising me with how well they can take these dodgy bases and lose no drones. Their Hellions can't find a way in because they got to rotate so far to go around. Every time they do, the Queens are there to greet them. The Overlords are spotting. He sees every alien rallying out. Just perfect defense all around for SERRAL here. Got himself in an amazing position. He takes the 4-1 victory, and that is incredibly impressive. Right when a lot of players were calling him out, I was crossing my fingers. SERRAL would have it like a chance of making this a 4-3 or a 4-2, but there was part of me that like was like, oh, I don't know. Clem's been so unstoppable lately. But today, the matchup of the builds, the styles, and the way he just defended wave after wave, I really think... I want to go back to Old Republic, taking both 5th bases at the same time and defending both of them through 5 minutes of constant 2-prong assault. That is a superhuman effort. Well played by SERRAL.